we, the jury, find the defendant, Mary Rice, guilty.
It's been 7 years since Mary Rice was convicted of murder and accessory after the fact.
4 women were killed: Alicia Greer, Jacqueline Moore, Peggy Brose, and Kayla Crocker.
Prosecutors say Rice willingly went with serial killer Billy Boyette on a crime spree across the region.
The 45-year-old argues she too was a victim, kidnapped and abused before Boyette died by suicide.
And yesterday we walked you through Rice's version of events for the first time and prosecutors' arguments as to why they don't agree with some of her claims.
Tonight, Samantha Servan shares more about Rice's attempt to appeal her sentence and get a new trial.
Mary Rice says she has more than half a dozen reasons why her case should be tried again and why she thinks a jury would feel differently if certain evidence was introduced.
The case against Mary Rice.
Mary Rice.
Mary Rice.
My name is Mary Rice.
Sitting with us today in her prison blues, Mary Rice looks a lot different than she did in 2017. She's an inmate at Lowell Correctional Institution just outside Ocala, serving a life sentence plus 30 years. Investigators say Rice helped Billy Boyette after he killed Alicia Greer and Jacqueline Moore in Milton, January 31st, 2017. They also say she helped kill Kayla Crocker in Beulah several days later. Rice denies those claims, saying she was held hostage by Boyette and forced to do those things under duress.
So I was not a willing participant at all. Is how can a state attorney tell me what went on this 8-day nightmare? How can you tell me my story and my testimony? You can't. You weren't there. Only I can tell you what happened to me, not you. If I had done something, then okay, I could sit here and deal with this, but I didn't. And the person who did killed himself. And I shouldn't be here paying for his crimes.
Rice and her attorney, Rachel Reese, are in the process of appealing the conviction.
We're actually asking for her to get a whole new trial.
And here's why.
This was one of my amended grounds to my 3850. It says newly discovered evidence, the termination of Officer Jimmy Tatum for untruthfulness and criminal mischief.
According to court documents, Jimmy Tatum worked for the Escambia County Sheriff's Office, conducted Rice's interrogation, and testified at her trial. We obtained this letter sent to Rice by her trial attorney in 2021. It reads in part, "I've reviewed the report and nothing in it appeared to have any bearing on our case, except the fact that Jimmy Tatum is generally untruthful. We also reviewed the internal affairs report that documents Tatum's reasons for being fired. Nothing mentions Rice's case." The second reason Rice says she deserves a new trial, she claims her attorney was ineffective.
Mr. Brooks decided that I didn't need to participate in my case. I didn't need my discovery. I didn't need any of these things. He didn't need to go over anything with me.
Because if she went to trial again and she were able to present the issues that her lawyer didn't do, and she had an effective lawyer, then the outcome of the case would be different.
Reasons 3 and 4. The fact Mary Rice's lab report from FDLE was not introduced, showing varying levels of 4 drugs in her system. She says this supports her claim that Boyette forced her to drink a concoction of drugs, making her groggy and easy to control throughout their trip. Plus, a report generated by a doctor who examined her over the course of months. Rice says the jury should have heard about the lifetime of abuse she'd endured from a young age and why she reacts to trauma the way she does. The report allegedly explained the mindset behind Rice's submission to Boyette.
He had done a report on me for all the trauma that I had from 4 on, for the rapes, the molestation, the abuse, everything that I've had throughout my life and everything. And he puts in here, that I have PTSD, that I have trauma issues, serious issues going on in my life, and that I'm a survivor, and that, if anything, that people should know that. I went through a lot of painful stuff with this man, to where he could diagnose me, and this was Mr. Brooks's idea, and then you don't want to use this person? What changed?
Do you think that would have had an impact on the jury in their decision making?
Absolutely. 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 If they had known my childhood and they had known the trauma that I've already lived through, why I made the decisions that I made during this trip, that I was on, this is a nightmare that is still going on even to this day. It has not stopped because I went from that to custody to here.
Prosecutor Bridget Jensen argues Rice's trial attorney, Kenneth Brooks, knew what he was doing.
The fact that she attacked her attorney, Ken Brooks has been around for years. He is an upstanding lawyer. He does a great job. I trust that if it said anything that would have been of value to Mary Rice's case, her attorney would have presented it. There may have been a situation where there was some evidence that was not favorable to her that would have come out, and he may have made a decision not to present that in an effort not to harm her case.
There's also the issue of Rice's decision not to testify. According to her appellate testimony, Rice's attorney told her before trial, "The prosecutor will eat you alive." That's how he described her, that she was very good and that she would eat me alive if I got on the stand. Her appellate attorney asked that day, "And did you decide not to testify because of that conversation?" Rice said, "Yes, I was scared to death." But now, given the circumstances,
I think that a part of the story and a part of this is missing. And I do think that it's an injustice to Mary because she is just as much of a victim, except she survived. And that is, she and I in our conversations, she has literally told me, sometimes I wish I hadn't survived because my survival is literally what has me in prison. And I could have just as easily been one of the women that ended up being killed. And that's a really sad reality and a sad thing to hear.
As far as her testifying, the court gave a thorough colloquy about whether she wanted to take the stand, and she decided not to do that on her own. She has convinced herself that she is a victim and that she is a survivor of this crime spree, when in fact she was a willing participant.
there's a few other reasons Rice argues her case should start over. But a judge denied her first appeal in 2023. Next up, a rehearing that's been in the works ever since.
I would die on the hill fighting for that girl.
Until then, Rice says she'll keep fighting for folks to see her side of the story. This is her message to the loved ones of Alicia Greer, Jacqueline Moore, Peggy Braz, and Kayla Crocker.
I would like them to know that I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't save them. I tried to save as many people as I could on this 8-day nightmare that I was on. If I could have done more, I would have. But I was a victim myself. I was in and out, drugged, not in the right mindset. I did what I had to do, and I am so sorry that they are having to be without them, because I know how it is to be without someone.
Even if Mary Rice's conviction is overturned or somehow her sentence was reduced, it doesn't mean she's a free woman. Rice still faces murder charges in Baldwin County. Tomorrow, in our last part of this series, I'll tell you what Rice is doing in prison to try to help others. In the studio, I'm Samantha Serbin.